Released in 2018, Persona 5 got its own rhythm game, much like its predecessor Persona 4 did, called Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. The Phantom Thieves all got slick new outfits, which are amongst my favorite out of the three teams, and we have remixes of some of your favorite Persona 5 tracks. We have 12 remixes in total for this game, which is oddly lower than I was expecting for a Persona 5 rhythm game. In any case, I've decided I'm going to rank all the remixes from what I feel are the worst to the best, and even discuss if I like them least, just as much, or even better than their original composition. Anyway, without further ado, let's kick off this ranking with what I think is the worst remix in this game easily.
It's now or it's never, and I've got to make my decision. This time it could be my moment.
Oh, God. What the heck was that? Alright, let's try that again.
I gotta cut the shit the fuck off.
What is it?
But what is he doing?
I don't know. I really don't know.
This remix stinks. I don't know what Mito was trying to go for here, but this was not it, Chief. The reverb on the vocals are really bad. It takes me out every time I attempt to listen to this song. This is an EDM-like remix, so they tend to have this big build-up before the inevitable beat drop. And it even fails at that, because when the beat actually drops, it's very underwhelming. A minute and 45 seconds worth of build-up for a beat drop that's so whack. The original composition of Rivers of the Desert does what this remix is trying to do better. Builds up with that sick guitar and drums, and when it gets to the chorus, it goes hard. This is one of the most important songs in Persona 5, so the fact that it got this really bad remix is a shame. It doesn't even compare to the original in the slightest, and I don't even bother adding this to my playlist. This is a very weird one. Another really important track in Persona 5 is your Awakening theme, and it's rather underwhelming. I don't think it's bad compared to River in the Desert, but I don't really feel anything when I'm listening to it. It doesn't carry that same amount of energy that the original composition does. Speaking of the original composition, this remix samples most of the original song in conjunction with the instruments it's remixed it in. Honestly, it just wants me to go back and listen to the original version with the guitar and the sick drums. This remix just doesn't do anything for me. I have no distaste for it, but it's not something I'd listen to over the original. It doesn't compare at all, and I don't have this one on my playlist.
Been searching all along, confessing while alone and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping yet. The real question to be asked, where have I been? I'm a Shacho.
Beneath the Mask is one of the most common tracks in Persona 5. This remix keeps the same calming energy from the original composition. The best part of the remix is that it just continues to build up as it goes on. Starts off soothing, it gets more exciting when it gets to the chorus, and the beat drop interlude is actually really good here. Then by the time it gets to the second verse, it starts getting more upbeat and gets you more into a dancing mood. Kaien had a clear goal of how they wanted to go about this remix, and they executed it really well. keeping that same smooth vibe of the original piece and spinning it into a piece that only got more upbeat as the song progressed. I like this version just as much as the original. Here we have a remix by the very same composer of Persona 5. Life Will Change is already a great track on its own, but I think the remix is even better. The added percussion, pianos, brass, and strings really makes this version feel more lively as a dancing song. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, honestly. Meguro just made this song even better, and I listen to this version way more than I do the original. It would have been cool if this version was in Persona 5 Royal when you put on the dancing outfit. The theme that plays in Futaba's Palace is one of my favorite tracks in all of Persona, period. Not only is it very calming, but considering the context of Futaba's backstory, it's a really sad piece. From the guitar riffs, drums, and piano, it's beautiful. This version of the piece I feel is a progression of Futaba's character after the events of Persona 5. The version is much happier, peppy, and upbeat. Huge focus on the techno side with the piano playing and the guitar is back in full force and it has just as much as an impact as it does in the original composition. I still prefer the original a little more, but this remix is really good, and with Futaba being one of my favorite characters in the game, I think it's a way of showing that she's going to get better. Sai's Palace is easily one of the best palaces in the entire game, with one of the best songs in the game. So how do they make an already groovy track that's great for dancing on its own into a dancing song? Well, they turn it into this more soothing house music remix. Compared to the previous songs, there isn't like any crazy build-up or anything. It keeps the same tone and energy throughout the whole song with the vocals accompanying it. I like this just as much as the original track. Honestly, they didn't need to do a huge overhaul for this remix. The choice of making it into a house song remix really works for it. It's just a smooth song altogether. Another great rendition to an already great song. Now this is a boss remix I wanted to hear out of Persona 5. I didn't care much for Blooming Villains by itself in Persona 5, and considering one of the weaker tracks in the game, I just didn't feel pumped when it came on. But when I heard this remix in Persona 5 dancing, I was hyped. The guitars are much more grungier sounding and the drums are hard hitting. It has more energy to it compared to the original composition, and I believe that it's more fitting for boss music. If whoever was on that guitar, they were going crazy. This is my favorite part of the piece. songs even made it into Persona 5 the animation during Konishiro's Palace, which made me happy. It's a great remix and easily better than the original for me. Out of all the songs in Persona 5, Last Surprise is the most recognizable, which is why it's the only one to have 2 remixes. For this remix, we have a techno mix of Last Surprise. This version is much faster, it definitely gets you into the mood to jump around and get hyped. The strings here with the techno beat meshes well together along with the pianos. The best part of the song is definitely the chorus for me, especially when they play part of the original sample with it. It's so darn good. I always find myself singing that part of the song. As much as I like Groovy being the battle theme for the Persona 5 dancing costume set, I think they could have used this version of Last Surprise for the battle theme. Out of all the versions of Last Surprise, whether it be the original, Takahashi's version, or the version in Persona 5 Strikers, this is my favorite version. This version of Last Surprise is more on the funkier side with the guitar and the bass, the amazing percussion, pianos, and they still keep the amazing strings of the original. The chorus actually sounds closer to the original composition than Takahashi's remix. Even as the song progresses, the song just continues to get even funkier with the strings and the added brass. Like, this remix is just like a trip, and I'm always jamming out to this song. I'd say this might surpass the original with its sound. It's absolutely perfect. I'm surprised this remix managed to keep the same energy as the original composition while also being a great song to dance to. With the Stars and Us is a very slow and triumphant ending credits theme for vanilla Persona 5, with its beautiful pianos and amazing guitar work. They took that song and turned it into an upbeat and just as triumphant techno theme. It's very catchy. Just like how I feel with the Winds of Fate remix, it's Lynn's vocals that really is the strength of both renditions of the song, especially during the bridge of the song, which is my favorite part of the remix. I get just as emotional hearing this version as I do the original. tofubeats did a great job for this remix, and I always find myself coming back to this remix in my playlist. I'm gonna be honest, I'm very indifferent to the original Wake Up, Get Up, Get Out There. I'm not saying it's a bad song, but when I try to listen to it, I'm just kind of like, it's alright. One of the weaker opening songs for modern Persona, but this version of the song has much more of an opening theme feel to it. Keeping the same strings, adding more hard-hitting percussion and the piano. Just having more percussion and the piano becoming the main part of the composition felt like it gave the song the energy that I thought was missing for me in the original composition. Now this definitely got me hyped to play some Persona 5. Jazztronik just came into this rhythm game with some bangers. So, what would be my number one pick for my favorite remix in Persona 5 dancing? The way the rhythm of this song hit my ears the first time, I felt my soul ascend. It's crazy. This is the song you listen to the most in Persona 5, I'd say. It's a very meh song overall, but Ryota Kazuka decided to go ham. It really feels like I'm walking through the streets of Tokyo during the day with how lively this remix sounds. I love the tropical feel it brings, and whoever is on the brass and the flutes, why are they going ham like this? This song has so many good parts to it, but I just gotta highlight the truly best part of this song. I'm in the best mood ever whenever this song plays on my playlist and go crazy dancing. Tokyo Daylight easily has my favorite remix in Persona 5 dancing.